rescue from, you know, a while back. Kassadin being banned now from CJ, so CJ really showing what they don't want to first pick. Not any very specific bans against NaJin here.
I'm a bit surprised by the Kassadin, but with Kassadin and LeBlanc still on the table, I think that they were hoping they may be able to sneak a LeBlanc first pick through. So what do you go with here? There's still a lot of options on the board. We've seen Nami be very high priority here in Korea. Lucian or Lee Sin, there we go. Maybe coming up as well, and it'll be that Lee Sin, of course, Daydream's best champions. And Hojin looked incredible on Lee Sin in the last Masters playoff match.
Yes, so I think taking that away and giving it to Daydream is a plus-plus situation for CJ Blaze. Now NaJin, Pure on your screen right now. Looks a little bit confused, but we'll see what they pick up. Do they want to secure champions for both Pure and Guger right away? Or do they not want to perhaps get countered? Nidalee being highlighted by Hojin. And then a Lucian first pick wouldn't be surprising at all for OQ there. He played very well with that Lucian. All right, Lucian and Renekton. It's been a little while since Renekton's been a normal pick. Of course, we've moved away with the teleports coming in and whatnot, but Pure gonna try to go stable with that Renekton, looking for a 1v1.
Yeah, that's a big risk. And I don't know. The thing about it, though, is that CJ Flame has a little bit of an ego, and he may want to go into this lane anyway, but again, the best strategy is going to be that lane swap here. They are a veteran professional team. They're playing against a new jungler and a top laner that doesn't normally play top, which means that these are the two most important positions to have deep knowledge of a lane swap situation in the current meta, and so you can really toy with that by lane swapping on them right now, and it wouldn't surprise me to see that. Soraka and Nami, and that will probably mean a Kog'Maw pick as well if they have their wish. Of course, once the Rylai's gets built by Soraka, you do have a really good opportunity to protect the Cog just with Star Call. And we've seen a lot of bans targeted against CJ Blaze recently as well, with Soraka. And we really haven't seen it come out from Blaze, but I'd be excited to see it here, and it looks like that's what we'll be getting. Ambition more than likely with the mid lane Soraka.
I'd love it if Flame picked Soraka just to kind of taunt Pure and be like, I'll show you how top lane Soraka is done.
It's heal
oh,
on the
there
top
you go.
lane,
I wasn't even looking at the summoners.
You are right, Jobra. It is most likely a top lane Soraka. Of course, that is going to be very difficult to use in any kind of lane swap. You want to pick the top lane Soraka for the bully potential in the 1v1, the ability to hard push your opponent into the tower and farm up very quickly. So this is a bit interesting, and this is going to be Flame. He's got that cockiness. He feels good about the 1v1.
It's coming through, and Evelynn and Leona would be somewhat of expected picks. Of course, Evelynn just a popular jungler, so defaulting to that after Lee Sin being taken away sounds reasonable. And Cain, once again, played really well on Leona. It's always been one of his picks after, of course, Sona, his traditional pick from way back. And of course, Blaze still going with the tradition of highlighting Talon now and then. Kind of poking some fun at Ambition, who was always all about that Talon, even when Talon passed the meta way back when. And Emperor looking at Vayne. But Kog'Maw more likely.
It's going to be Kog'Maw, yeah. The Kog'Maw pick is very strong with Nami right now. It's been played a lot in Korea. It's a combination that was really brought back into the fore by Samsung Blue, and we've seen it creep into other regions as well. Alliance playing that very well today against Fnatic. They had a great game. If you haven't seen that one, it's definitely worth your while. Alliance versus Fnatic from the latest EU LCS. And they showed a lot of the power. This is a very strong composition, and this is a mid-Lulu. So this is about, we have 3 support champions.
Oh boy.
And Emperor going to be carrying. This is, Chubber, this is a very unblazed composition we're looking at. Have they learned?
You know, maybe. Maybe they had a little bit of an intervention with Flame and Ambition. Like, guys, I think you've had enough time to carry and farm. Let's give Emperor a chance to eat some minions.
I am really, and that is a mid-Lucian.
It's a mid-Lucian, all right. Well, that's also not surprising if you think about it. Guger, a sub-AD player, so...
And he played mid-Jace also in the last match, so he feels much more comfortable. Of course, mid-Lucian, a good lane bully, but the problem here is you're not going to have a lot of AP damage, and you're pretty darn squishy if they...
And we do see... or as in we don't see, rather, Cain going with full wards. Again, just going for the Relic Shield on Leona, so not investing heavily into securing lanes.
Yeah, of course, that is one of the things that will change quite a bit when we go into 4.7 is fewer wards at the start right here, and maybe just one green ward like we're seeing alongside that Spell Thief. So Lustboy, the 5-man invade, coming in quite early, actually. So they're looking to get a pretty rapid ward down right here. Check the brush with the Q, and then get that ward. Interesting placement. We'll see if that actually sees anything.
Ambition. Just gonna hang out in the mid lane, make sure if he spots anyone that he can keep tabs. But Hojin was not spotted. Cain did not decide to flank, and their NaJin is gonna go for a 3-man invade.
Yeah, they got the ward there because they want to safely do the red buff. So they will see if anyone is coming to contest that besides Renekton early on, because they're afraid right now of a possible red side lane swap where they could end up in a 2v2 against Leona and Ezreal, and possibly, maybe even the jungler and the top laner there early on, depending on if they're going to jungle follow or not. So it's a bit of a precautionary ward for a red steal. That's what we're seeing. And interestingly, too, we do see Pure starting with a Doran's shield. He just needs that extra regeneration in lane to deal with the Star Call and the pressure that Flame is going to put on, both of them wanting that 1v1.
And there's a CJ fan that says, I already bought my tickets to the final, so you better win. So he's here to cheer. Before the show started today, the Korean casters were talking to the fans, and a lot of CJ fans saying, oh, Ward does not go into the brush.
It's okay. They'll still get the information they need. Or will they, actually? It depends on if Daydream, where he paths next out of that brush, because he may just wrap around the corner. Yeah, they're not going to see that. Oh, they ping him. Okay, they did see it.
All right, I think they caught a very small glimpse at the corner as he left the brush. So good eyes from NaJin, and Hojin will just go right to the CJ red buff. So they'll just trade buffs. Not too big of an issue.
Yeah, indeed they will. Now, Hojin really has to make a play down here in the bottom lane. They have to be able to all in with this Leona combination. Now, they're going to see Hojin right there in the brush at the red buff, so they'll know, of course, his pathing and the timing, most importantly, on when he finishes that. And so you can see Lustboy and Emperor just playing back early on, playing safely under the turret. Yeah, and Flame is already pushed in. Pure, as to be expected.
Yep, not too big of a shock. Hojin deciding not to go to that bottom lane, of course, as you mentioned. We had Lustboy and Emperor playing very safe, so Hojin will just go back to his jungle, probably gonna check the red camp on the way up to make sure he can clear it out. And Daydream looking for a early dive here on Pure. Pure only level 2. Now all summoners are up though.
Oh, this is really risky.
Hojin's coming in too. Pure already used Slice, does try to dice backwards, and Hojin's here, so they make the call. Flame's already taking some hits, but Pure not able to jump forward just yet.
Yeah. Good read, and it's one of those things too, the diving a Soraka lane is kind of weird because you don't have Ignite when you have the heal, so you have the self-heal as well as the armor that gives you against the turret, so it's kind of a really long dive where you're going to take a lot of turret hits and eventually whittle the other person down. But they don't find it right there, they back off when Hojin comes in.
Yep, and Hojin's still sticking around in the top lane, and Pure telegraphing a little bit. Just unexpected aggression, so Flame's going to take some time to equalize the lane once again. But Hojin is still here, hasn't really been spotted. Daydream a bit far off at the race. Take a look at the bottom lane, and nice.
Flame is playing this lane really well in terms of backing off, knowing the proper timings. Daydream now coming back up after stealing Wraiths. Emperor and Lustboy just playing it safe under the turret, even though they know exactly where the enemy is. They just don't want to get Leona all in. And there's Daydream with the
Daydream
Q.
finds Pure, but Pure with a nice slice and dice gets the double dash right under his tower. But he will have to go back, and he's already 10 CS down. This is going to hurt quite a bit. Going to miss a full wave and maybe even a half if he leaves. So he's going to try to wait it out. Hojin's still sticking around at the mini golems while Cain goes on to Emperor, but we don't see OQ in range to react, and Cain is actually taking a beating on the way back.
Yeah, not a great trade for NaJin. Looks like they weren't exactly on the same page.
The dive comes in at top. Flame still pays for it, and Hojin trying to go in for a trade. They are at the same health, but Hojin dodges the Sonic Wave.
Wow.
Hojin wanted to stick around, but didn't want to get hit by that Q.
If he had not dodged that Q, he almost certainly would have died, and Ambition forces the heal from Guger in the mid lane.
He will survive with 60 health.
Very close in the 1v1, but Ambition not really having a problem farming. Of course, Lulu very good with the wave clear, so it's one of the safer champions to play into a mid AD. They're not really going to get the bullying that they might have hoped for. And Daydream.
Oh, Hojin looking for a fight onto Daydream. Can he get it? Daydream has to flash, and Hojin flashes forward to pick up the kill. Proving a point against a rising jungler Daydream. Hojin, the new guy on the block.
Some pretty impressive decision-making right there. Maybe a bit risky. It looked a little coin flippy to me. I'm not sure if there was a Q that was used right there by Daydream. I think he used a Q before that duel started, which is why Hojin was so confident about that, because otherwise he could have just... either that or it was the mind games too, because after he flashed, he may have been waiting to see whether or not Hojin would flash, because he was worried about his Q being flashed. So let's take a look at that again, actually. We're not going to see what abilities he has up yet. He may have tagged his minion.
Yeah! And then Hojin just waits for it, jumps right in.
That was really smart of Hojin, actually.
Yeah. Very good play and very good decision making. So once again, Hojin's been proving, he's proven that he has the mechanics already on Monday. Just now he's proving that he has the 1v1 game sense. It's just he still needs a little bit of play calling to drive him through that laning phase with those solo laners. And again, we won't see that in full effect until we can see the new roster in full force with Leopard and Kuro.
Yeah, this guy looks really good. I think that his new Sword roster is definitely something to be excited about. Kuro, of course, a very dedicated player.
Absolutely.
Really ambitious. And there we go, Ambition trading a little bit. Guger, still only a level 5. He was forced off early. And Ambition playing a bit risky with his build here. He's actually building the Chalice anyway against the AD, so you can tell how confident he's feeling in this lane situation. You're going back, picking up the Negatron Cloak early, just needs a little bit more survivability. And Hojin still trying to take out Flame, but there is a pink ward right in the river brush, so Flame will see this gank incoming.
And we have Daydream already camping out in the lane and bot lane, but he will leave while Hojin still clears out that ward. And Emperor and Lustboy they're pushing in pretty well, though they're pressuring, so Daydream decides he's just gonna go off, and he pings the enemy blue buff.
This is a great dragon timing for them. They do have that global ultimate advantage, and they just pushed up as well, so they can go ahead and steal the blue. Not the biggest steal to NaJin, of course. It's nice to have that blue on Lucian, but not crucial. And then they can transition this into a dragon if they so choose. It's like that's not going to be the decision right here.
Yeah, Daydream just backing off, had just used the smite to make sure he secures that blue, but Hojin gonna just go ahead and take his time in the enemy blue buff because he was already there. He should be able to clear it out before Ambition and Daydream get there, and that will hurt Ambition a bit, although, again, he did go for that Chalice on that slightly risky build, so mana won't be an issue.
Yeah, that's actually, I think they really could have done that. When you're looking at a Renekton without the teleport in the top lane and you have that global, you can feel pretty confident that you're going to be able to take that dragon relatively easily, even if they do come. And I don't know, I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity right there. Of course, early dragon, not worth a ton of gold, so definitely not the end of the world. Just a little thing that maybe CJ Blaze will look back on and regret.
Perhaps Hojin gonna figure out that his own blue was gone, but he's got a blue, so Guger the one paying for that, but so is Ambition. So again, kind of equalizes that one. And Hojin probably coming out the happiest out of that blue buff trade. Pure still getting bullied in this lane, a little bit behind, but that Negatron Cloak is helping a lot in terms of taking actual damage from Flame's Soraka.
Yeah, very interestingly, neither of our AD carries have gone back yet. Of course, Kog'Maw has lost some CS to the turret, but he's not going to be too concerned. I'm curious as to what build we're going to see from Emperor. A lot of these Kog'Maws from the Samsung teams, they mix it up in terms of Trinity Force or Blade First.
Oh, Guger is going to get ganked here by Daydream. Daydream doesn't hit the Sonic Wave, is having some trouble today, and Guger and Pure also giving him trouble with those dodges, trying to read his mind as he prepares his Sonic Wave.
Yep, I mean, it's a pretty passive game so far, and this is definitely going in CJ Blaze's advantage. This is the kind of game they want to play. Of course, the longer this laning phase goes, the more items they're going to be able to get to itemize against the attack damage of NaJin, and they'll scale really, really well into the late game. So they'll be feeling quite comfortable at the moment. There's the Cutlass start from Kog'Maw, and looks like we will see a Bloodthirster start from Ezreal this game. So he's been having a good time farming so far, and just will be going for that kind of earlier power spike by stacking up that BT.
Yeah, I like that from OQ, trying to make sure that they can get some of that lead that he has in the early CS. Hojin in the mid lane, and Cain comes in, and he does get the slow onto Ambition. There's the culling, but a nice wild growth. Cain still dives in with Entus Blaze. Here comes the tidal wave, the Guger caught. Daydream picks up 1 kill and picks up the second one with Lustboy to get 2-1 in favor of CJ.
Yeah, great reaction there from Lustboy to just come for the counter gank alongside Daydream. And they do pick up a couple of kills right there. We've seen how good Cain is in terms of his map sense over the past few games with NaJin. But it just didn't pay off right there.
And again, we're already seeing that in action. Lulu alone can drag out that gank enough so that his teammates can get some counter kills. But if that happens in a team fight with Soraka and Nami, let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, Cain coming in right here, thinks he can pick it up, but there you go. Ambition, like you're saying, drags this gank out long enough, and Lustboy gets a 3-man tidal wave. Ignite down as well, and that helps Daydream pick up a couple of kills, and they're going to transition this into a dragon.
Cain is already trying to just deny them, but we do see the smite coming in from Daydream, and Hojin trying to pick up some kills. Ambition has to be chased away by Guger, but Cain goes down to Daydream. Guger showing up with that Lucian, and OQ is just flying around, but he's running low on mana, wants to get one more kill onto Lustboy. It's just auto to auto with Emperor. Guger there, it's a 2v1, and Ambition not able to help with that ultimate still on cooldown. OQ flashes over, will pick up another kill. No, he won't. He gets bubbled while Guger gets handled. No, he flashes and dashes, trying to get a kill onto Ambition. Ambition very low. OQ waiting for his arcane shift, leaps over the wall, but gets hit by a glitter lance. Ambition on the run. Summoners down for both players, and OQ just waiting to see if he's gonna move out behind the brush, and doesn't hit him with the mystic shot.
The standoff right here. So they're at high noon. Guns in the holsters right now. Nobody actually willing to draw, so pretty funny. Funny little standoff, but that gank, so Flame also didn't have his ultimate up. Flame used Wish in the mid lane gank, so a little bit riskier dragon this time around, and they get chased right into the pit. And of course, OQ has a little bit stronger items at this point in time. Guger similarly itemized with that BF sword, so they're really able to carve up everybody in the pit right here. And Emperor too, he overstays, he flashes too late, and the follow from the auto attack on OQ, and Guger will just go ahead and hit him after the flash. OQ doesn't quite get Lustboy, but Hojin is there to clean him up, using that Evelyn W to get a little bit of speed, and we've got some action. And
Flame gets stunned by Pure as Hojin comes in for a gank. Hojin following up. Evelyn's got that speed to chase through another hate spike, and Flame goes down. Black Sword doing what they can. Meanwhile, more action in the bottom lane. We do see Cain using his ultimate, but he gets bubbled right away. OQ has a lot of damage, but Daydream is here, so OQ will have to blink out under his tower.
Wow, that was a really well set up gank as soon as they saw the jungler up in the top lane, and Lustboy's Nami is really doing a lot of work this game. He hit the necessary skill shots on that one, and they will be pushing straight into the turret, trying to get that first tower advantage. OQ going to white over the wall, already has that Bloodthirster. There's the first tower of the game going down to CJ Blaze, however. In spite of the fact that they didn't do too great in the bottom lane, they find that window of opportunity, and they still have that gold lead. Of course, with the better scaling, it's going to be problematic. Pure and Hojin still looking to punish Flame, and they've done a pretty good job so far. He has been shut down relatively efficiently. Of course, he did get some assists on the mid lane.
Yep. And Pure is going to say he just leveled up. Hojin coming back in, and they're going to catch Flame again. Flame doesn't have his flash, has the heal though, so he's still pretty healthy. They're going to have to go for a dive if they want to do it. Hojin already got the tower aggro, so they back off, but Cain coming up for a dive. Now Wish is up, so Flame still got another heal ready, but Pure already getting some damage down onto Flame. Cain's just gonna go straight for the dive, walks right in, draws the tower aggro, so Pure can get pure damage onto Flame, and Hojin comes in to pick it up, will dash out of tower range.
Yeah, with the Ignite coming in from Cain right there, they were able to cut that Wish healing in half. So that was pretty crucial, and OQ in the meantime will be trying to freeze down here in the bottom lane. But there wasn't a lot of damage early on, but the repeated ganks did work. Ambition now coming in. He's gonna eat a light slinger to the face though.
Yep, but he gets his glitter lance onto Guger, so they trade in damage, and Guger being at half health is good news because there's 3 players here from CJ calling use just to keep the lane clear while his teammates join up. OQ now coming into the mid lane to help defend this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they are not going to be able to farm in that frozen lane, though, in bottom, just due to the siege coming in. They've got a lot of poke, but some pretty decent wave clear. Oh, there's the True Shot Barrage. So 2 ults from our 2 80 carries used. And they'll hold on to that mid lane turret. Now, probably Pure here, you want to get him into the frozen lane, but it looks like they're going to choose to farm up OQ instead. Okay, now he's coming back. It looks like they changed their minds.
Yeah, Pure just going to be the one staying here with OQ, and they give Guger time to go back. They all wanted to go do some things, but you can't all leave at once. But the tower still might go down. Hojin looking to see if he has to start a fight to secure this tower, but doesn't look like it's a smart idea. Black Sword gives up the tier 1 in mid. CJ not showing any signs of slowing down. They know those ultimates are down still from Lucian and Ezreal. So the big wave clears are gone from NaJin Black Sword. CJ trying to take advantage of that.
Take a look, too, at the wards on the flanks of CJ right here. They know that as long as they don't get flanked, they're going to be able to keep this up pretty much indefinitely because they have the disengage from the tidal wave and enough healing, of course, the Lee Sin kick as well. So the poke and the long range of Kog'Maw on the Bio-Arcane Barrage is going to stop it.
Cain goes in and gets the stun onto Emperor. Emperor is locked down, but there's Wild Growth and all the heals coming in. Kog'Maw still alive, hasn't put out that much damage just yet, but Daydream has to run really low health. Flame also going down low. Pure pretty tanky in the front line. True Shot Barrage comes in. OQ looking for a kill, but he gets chased away. Meanwhile, we see Ambition pick up the kill onto Hojin. Cain and Hojin down. OQ has to run away low on mana. And the other 2 members also at half health here for Black Sword. So CJ continuing to come back. They have the heals. They're going to just try to stick around. Guger gets caught by the bubble. Do they want to dive in? Ambition gets help picks and gets a double glitter lance onto the members of Black Sword to secure tier 2 in mid lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to get that Evelynn flank onto the back line, and it's so hard to deal with this. You saw the shields, the heals, everything, the wild growth, all going down onto Emperor, even though he was a little bit out of position, and Cain did manage to catch him relatively well. And wow, Ambition. That was actually dangerous, because if Pure had decided to go onto him, may have been a problem. But his flash wasn't up, so he wasn't going to be able to close the gap and stun very efficiently. They are going to turn their sights onto the Dragon, however. But this is a really good situation for CJ Blaze. They're playing out their composition quite nicely, and it's a ticking. The clock is ticking on Flame's Rylai's, and as soon as he gets that item, there's no way they're going to kill Cog.
Exactly. Let's see it again. Already they had trouble in this fight. They get the Solar Flare, but a nice tidal wave is going to keep some people back. Pure gets the continued stun, but again, Wild Growth heals, and Emperor just putting down whatever auto attacks he can. Daydream also spent enough time in the front line, soaking in some damage. Yeah, Flame gets the silence off there as well, and the silence is a big deal here because with Ezreal, Renekton, and Lucian, they're all more or less AD casters. They're very reliant on spells as opposed to auto attacks, and so he can pretty much just choose which one of those he wants to shut down. Probably Renekton, who will be going into the fight first, but it's this is going to be really rough. This is a pretty brutal composition from CJ Blaze, and I don't think NaJin really did enough in the early game in order to be able to make this competitive from this point out. We see the sheen on OQ going from that Trinity Force. Meanwhile, Guger perhaps looking to finish his tier 2 boots first with those Berserker Greaves.
I don't know what you do here. This is really, really rough for NaJin Shield. They had to get an early lead. They tried everything they could to get Flame, but they couldn't keep him down. He's still up in CS. He was able to pick up some assists too with his global.
Yep, and there's the culling, but gets blocked actually halfway through with the bubble, and Hojin gets spotted by Daydream.
Just really good positioning from Daydream. You can see he's just running interference on the side, trying to prevent the flank from happening, and he's doing an awesome job. Just fantastic. Oki trying to chase people away with that True Shot Barrage, just wants to secure the tower, and yeah, we're already seeing Black Sword kind of accepting their fate that there isn't much they can do. It just has to constantly use culling and True Shot Barrage to either wave clear or zone to secure towers and not fights. And we're going to see what they have now. Hojin is giving up on looking for that flank with Daydream roaming around in the jungle. And CJ will continue to clear and get some hits with that long range. Yep, this is a really, really difficult situation. You can see the zone coming in too, not only from the Kog'Maw ult, but from the Nami Q. Anybody who gets hit is shielded, is healed right up by Nami or by Soraka. And there's another pretty much free tower for CJ Blaze. At this point, NaJin, they need to get vision control and try and make picks because they have to get on the flank. They have to get on the edge of this composition if they ever want to close the gap. And this is really a rough position for Black Sword. Oh,
exactly.
Flame actually going for Glacial Shroud first, so he feels that there's enough peel already. They do have the Glitter Lance to slow everybody coming in. And so that little extra bit of tankiness and CDR for the extended sieges, that's what Flame's going to decide to use. So they do feel confident in their ability to peel right now. And just want a bit more sustain, I think, for just to keep everybody nice and topped up.
Sounds reasonable. Cain shows up with those Moby boots, and meanwhile we do see Guger and OQ splitting in the mid lane, trying to take the enemy tier 1. They will get it, but looks like their teammates will have to give up the tier 1 in top lane. It was the 4v3, and without the AD carries, they had to give up. So Guger and OQ just going to go full commitment here in the mid lane, and they can take these towers pretty fast. 2 Bloodthirsters is going to do a lot of work. They already take the tier 2, and Essence Flux is going to help both Lucian and Ezreal. Do they go back home? Yeah, they're going to trade 2 towers and go back home.
Ambition is going to... Nope, he faked his recall. They're going to switch it up right now and try and take some jungle. So staying as a 5-man siege unit for the moment. Hojin creeping around the outside. And they're not going to cut anybody off right here. Everybody just recalled. They're not running back. So they safely make it through, get some wards down, don't find a red buff to take away. And Ambition will pick up the blue and go buy some items.
Yep, they should have some decent gold across the board here for CJ Entus Blaze. Guger now, he's picking up some extra CS here for his team.
That Frozen Heart is going to be brutal against a 2 AD carry composition too.
Yeah.
This is looking really grim for NaJin. I mean, yes, there's only a 5k gold lead, but the problem is, and of course one of those things that you have to always take into consideration with a gold lead is how efficient is that gold lead. And when you have so much attack damage and an item like Frozen Heart becomes incredibly valuable, like worth way more than it would be in a normal game. So that gold lead can just be used extremely, extremely efficiently by CJ. And so the real lead here is far more than 5k.
Absolutely. We also have the parts, the Randuins, the Warden's Mail, and Giant Spell coming in for Daydream. That is in the same boat. So things are not looking so great for NaJin Black Sword right now. And we also see the Captain enchantment on the boots for Lustboy. So just, again, when they want to disengage, it's going to give them a little bit more move speed if someone, especially the frontliners such as Daydream, to catch up. Flame and Ambition are going to get initiated on by Hojin. There's the Solar Flare, but gets dodged by both people. Flame using his Flash. So does Ambition to get away from the center. Yeah, Flash and heal use right there. So a big commitment in terms of summoners, and that's exactly what NaJin has to do. But the waves are all pushed up, and the siege is about to begin again. And this is just a very patient, very durable Blaze composition that is knocking on the doorstep of NaJin's Sword right now. Yeah, Black Sword may just have to give this one up. Guger taking too much damage, has to back off. Doesn't want to get kicked into the back line. Emperor is running low on mana, though. He's been using Living Artillery to poke people out, but still a lot of damage. CJ Blaze just taking turns tanking that tower with those heals. Look at Lustboy, barely took any damage from that one after taking 2 to 3 hits. And Emperor continually just using Living Artillery and then beating down on Cain to chase him away. Yeah, he's able to do so much work with that blue buff as well, just constantly poking, constantly having his Bio-Arcane Barrage up, and of course that's Shred too. We haven't really talked about that, but one of the reasons why Kog'Maw Soraka is so strong, not only because you can keep the Kog'Maw alive, but because the Star Call shreds magic, and Kog'Maw on his Bio-Arcane Barrage does % health magic damage, actually. So with the Blade, he's doing % health physical. With his abilities, he's doing % health magic. And that shred that he gets from his own Caustic Spittle as well is just, his single target damage is just crazy. Yeah. Hojin just took the red for Black Sword, so Guger was not able to pick that one up for himself, but we do see 5 men from NaJin moving on up into the top lane. Tier 1 is still there, but they don't have the minions to take that tower. Ping's going down by both teams on Baron, but NaJin doesn't want to take it, and CJ probably just wanted to keep some eyes on it. So we also see the Captain's enchantment from Lustboy right here, just to help everybody kite better as he uses the tidal wave and backs off. His team will get that movement speed bonus as they follow him. Really good itemization here, I have to say. I think CJ Blaze, this is a very well thought out composition, and they're executing it very well. Exactly. Frozen Heart is finished by Flame, and also has that Athene's, and then another, or still has that Giant Spell rather, in preparation for that Rylai's. So Flame is only going to get more and more annoying as this game goes on.
Yeah, 200 armor, and that's without him casting Astral Blessing on himself either. Emperor not going for the Trinity Force this game. I don't think he needs it. Usually you get that for the mobility. It does some extra damage to the turret too with the Sheen procs, which is kind of nice, but in this case, you could just go for that raw damage. You've got some good wave clear, and you can feel confident in your ability just to outlast the opposition. Bunch of wards going down. Daydream not going to find Cain.
Oh, Daydream does get stunned, and Hojin is there along with OQ, but NaJin wants to back off. They see Ambition right away. Hojin can't find a window to escape. He tries to get the slow, flashes away from the tidal wave. Two people get caught, but it's Guger and OQ Pure. Now coming in from the side with Dominus, a nice solar flare, but do they have the damage to follow OQ with a good True Shot Barrage? But not all the defensive maneuvers have been used by CJ Entus Blaze, and look at Flame using his itemization to the advantage, standing in the front line. Daydream still has to watch out for that poke coming in, though.
Yeah, didn't even have to use Witch there either. He held on to that one intelligently. And eventually, the CJ team will just go ahead and heal right back up again. See if they actually take a few shots at Baron right here. That's the scary thing, is that they could just start Baron and turn without taking any damage at all due to the sustain on this composition. So they can play pretty aggressively around the Baron at the moment.
Ambition has gone down to that bottom lane, but again, they still have the damage from Kog'Maw up there. If they have Daydream and Flame with him, shouldn't be too hard of a Baron. And is that where they're heading to? Daydream not going to stop at the blue. We do see pings around Baron from CJ. 4 men up there. Ambition down in bot. NaJin, Cain now coming back in to put some wards around Baron. They lost all of theirs thanks to those 3 pink wards we see on our mini maps. Oh, Cain may get caught. He's going to get slowed by Lustboy, but Lustboy just wants to take the wards out, keep up the vision control.
So it's actually unfortunate that we see Hojin getting so many kills this game, because the problem is that what they really need right now is burst. They have to be able to just 100-0 somebody, and with Evelyn you do get that Spirit of the Elder Lizard, but then you start building tank, and that doesn't really help you because there's so much peel on CJ that you can be really tanky, and they'll just kite you forever. You'll never actually be able to deal any damage, and the tankiness is pretty much irrelevant. So had they been able to get some of those kills, get some more items on a champion that could burst, it definitely would have been a little bit better.
Yep, and True Shot Barrage was used to check on Baron. They did spot Ambition on the way, so they know that Baron wasn't being taken just yet. Ambition was looking out for a pick, so NaJin will back off from their jungle, but that just means vision control goes back to CJ. So we have Pure and Hojin not backing off all the way as Daydream jumps over and starts that Baron buff for CJ Blaze, and OQ is going home. So we're not looking at really much of a fight here in favor of NaJin to stop CJ. They have Baron down to half health, but they're going to play it safe. They do get the help picks and get a Glitter Lance hit onto Hojin, but Hojin will just get rid of that with his W and then run away. Culling also used to zone them out, but that means no Lucian ultimate to wave clear should CJ choose to siege.
Yeah, and they really should choose to siege right here. There is a naked inhibitor without the Lucian. I mean, they could take it and then do Baron later. They didn't actually want to do that Baron. Of course, the possibility of a steal is very high with the burst from 280 carries and the Evelyn. So, and they would just do it very slowly, even with this Kog'Maw. Pushing up the mid lane. Now they're going to go after the real objective here, which is, of course, this nice naked inhibitor.
It's going to go down fairly quickly. Emperor just has attack speed to whittle it down, along with Daydream, and they will get it. Mid inhibitor down against NaJin. Glitter Lance used, and Emperor just poking down. Pure goes down to about 2/3 health thanks to this Kog'Maw, and will CJ go straight to that Baron? They were spotted by a ward. They clear it with a lens, and then go for the enemy red. They might be able to get a pick here if Hojin gets too curious.
Well, Emperor, just another way for him to peel now with the slow on the red buff, as if CJ Blaze didn't have enough already.
No, not at all. Every person should have at least 2. That is how you make sure that nobody dies. And Daydream and Emperor actually together looking for a pick, and they get the Void Ooze. There's a Sonic Wave Resonating Strike onto Cain, but Cain with a stun onto Emperor. Will Daydream continue? No, Hojin comes in to distract Daydream, so Daydream turns his sights with Emperor. Emperor picks up the kill thanks to a tidal wave from Lustboy to keep that Evelyn in place.
And here we go, right onto the Baron right now. Should be pretty easy. Daydream is going to go ahead and tank that one. They've got the pink ward down, and everybody from NaJin's Sword just backing on off. And There it goes.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with this Baron, but especially without that Evelyn there. Can't really count on stealing it nor starting a fight without the Agony's Embrace. So Baron goes at 30 minutes to CJ Entus Blaze. Ambition was already on the way to bot to shove it up with this newfound buff.
Here he goes, just clearing out the lane before he takes a trip back. About 2,000 gold, 1,000 to 2,000 on all the members of Blaze, so we go back and buy. But before that, they'll take a very, very slow dragon.
Yeah, Daydream not really built for damage here, nor is Lustboy, so, but they'll get it eventually. So these two will be able to perhaps buy a new shiny item, while their teammates have already just left base after their shopping.
Interesting. Flame actually went for Randuin's instead of the Rylai's. Sure, works in this situation. They've got to get onto you anyway, so you can just Rylai's whoever is in the front line. You also, I mean, he's so tanky right now that he can probably also just flash into the middle of them and use the Randuin's. Like, that's, it sounds silly, but he probably can do that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And so Guger, OQ, they need to deal with these super minions here in the mid lane, and their teammates will help them clear it up. Meanwhile, Flame already doing work in the top lane to shove it up. Bottom lane was shoved up by Ambition just a little bit ago before that dragon. So CJ now focusing all eyes on the top lane. We only have that inhibitor turret still up in terms of lane towers. And Lustboy, Emperor, and Daydream marching forward as Emperor leads them with his battle call.
The Kog'Maw battle cry.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, CJ Blaze did a really good job in picks and bans this game. The fact that when they saw the Renekton, they responded with the Soraka, because the problem with that is, of course, Soraka, neither of those champions are great in 1v2s because you want to take advantage of Renekton's early game power spike. So even if you lane swap right there, eventually Flame is going to outscale and you miss the power spike on Renekton. And if you 1v1, well, it doesn't really matter if Flame dies a couple of times as long as he's able to put pressure on and farm. And then this is the result, is Flame just face tanking your entire team.
Yeah, Flame just, oh wow, and they get the kill onto Pure, connected from the kick into some hits from Emperor's Kog'Maw. Now they're just trying to whittle people down in the fountain. They might be able to get Hojin. Tidal Wave comes in, but already healing has kicked off. But Emperor just doing work long range. CJ Entus Blaze really trying to enjoy.
Look how little damage they're doing to Flame. He's got
Flame
he's got like 400 armor right now.
They're just waiting for the minions. Yeah, his health bar is barely moving. There we go. That one hurt a little bit. Some Mystic Shots are what it takes, but Cain leaps forward. He's done with this as Flame just stands there, ignited and everything. He's just getting healed by his teammates. Goes back up to full health as we finish the game. Blaze 1-0 against Sword.
That was ridiculous.
That was also pretty mean to